Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kembali lagi bersama saya Khuyaimah, mahasiswi UIN Raden Fatah Palembang angkatan 2019, Fakultas Dakwah dan Komunikasi, jurusan Komunikasi Penyiaran Islam. Kali ini saya akan menganalisis pidato dari tokoh internasional yaitu Stephen Jobs. Apakah di dalam pidatonya mencakup prinsip-prinsip komunikasi Islam atau tidak? Stephen Jobs merupakan pendiri perusahaan terbesar di dunia yaitu Apple Inc. yang bergerak di bidang teknologi dan Pixar Studio yang bergerak di perfilman animasi.
Thank you. I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. And this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories.
Di sini Stephen Jobs mengisi pidato pada acara kelulusan di Stanford University. Pada awal video, Stephen Jobs mengucapkan rasa terima kasih sebagai salam pembuka dan berbicara dengan lemah lembut karena beliau merasa tersanjung telah diundang untuk berpidato pada acara kelulusan di salah satu universitas terbaik dunia. Beliau juga berkata baik dan menyesuaikan bahasanya. Di pidatonya, beliau berhadapan dengan mahasiswa sebagai komunikannya, sehingga mahasiswa mudah memahami apa yang telah disampaikan oleh Stephen Jobs.
The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. So why did I drop out? Because I had dropped out and didn't have to take the normal classes, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes great typography great. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. And we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts.
Beliau juga memberikan nasihat kepada komunikannya berdasarkan pengalaman hidup yang telah dilaluinya. Walaupun beliau tidak menyelesaikan kuliahnya, tetapi ia bisa mengembangkan potensinya sehingga ia menjadi orang yang paling berpengaruh di dunia.
If I had never dropped out, I would have never dropped in on that calligraphy class, and personal computers might not have the wonderful typography that they do. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college. But it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference.
Beliau berlaku adil dengan komunikannya. Di dalam pidatonya, beliau tidak menyombongkan apa yang telah dimilikinya sekarang. Beliau mengajarkan kepada komunikannya atau mahasiswa yang di sana agar jangan pantang menyerah untuk menjalani kehidupan setelah lulus kuliah.
My second story is about love and loss. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the 2 of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I'd just turned 30. And then I got fired. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking, don't settle.
Dalam mempertimbangkan pandangan orang lain, Steve Jobs bersama temannya membangun sebuah usaha. Tetapi setelah berjalan 10 tahun, beliau dipecat oleh temannya sendiri. Mulai dari saat itu, Steve Jobs tidak putus asa dan ia mendirikan usahanya sendiri.
My third story is about death. When I was 17, I read a quote that went something like, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." It made an impression on me, and since then, for the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. Your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Thank you all very much.
Di akhir video, Steve Jobs mengatakan kepada komunikannya, jangan menjalani kehidupan orang lain. Dan yang paling penting, beranilah untuk mengikuti kata hati. Secara tidak langsung, beliau memberikan doa untuk komunikannya, agar semua yang dilalui berjalan sesuai dengan harapan mereka. Baiklah, dapat saya simpulkan, di dalam pidato Steve Jobs sudah mencakup beberapa prinsip-prinsip dalam komunikasi Islam. Itu saja analisis dari saya, lebih dan kurangnya saya mohon maaf. Terima kasih sudah menyaksikan. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.